Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new Ninjago video here on the channel. My name is TannerFishies. In today's video, we're going to be going over the Ninjago Crystalized trailer once again, uploaded on the official LEGO YouTube channel, because there's something in the trailer that we need to discuss that I haven't gotten around to talking about just yet. That, of course, being the Temple of the Crystal King itself. The temple itself seems to have a very unique presence to it, and I want to talk about in today's video how it may in fact have ties to previous Ninjago stories as well. Before we begin today's video, though, I must give you guys a couple of quick disclaimers. As per usual, this video will in fact contain speculation and theorizing on the part of myself and many other Ninjago fans. Also, I want to give a very brief spoiler warning, just in case we touch on something that you haven't really seen just yet. If you have not seen the first 12 episodes of Ninjago Crystalized, there is your very light spoiler warning. So without further ado, let's get going with today's discussion. The Temple of the Crystal King itself is a marvelous thing, is it not? Look at this thing. A lot of crazy stuff is going to be going down inside the temple. As you can see here, the villains themselves are probably going to be upgraded, giving them their new crystallized appearances that we can see from the 2022 summer wave of Ninjago sets. And also, as we can see with Asphira right here, the golden weapons are also being given to the villains to utilize in some way, shape, or form. But what I really want to look at is the Temple of the Crystal King itself, how it emerges from the ground with a very intimidating face plastered on the front, and it floats upwards into the sky. Now, right off the bat, I've seen a lot of people compare this to Chima's Mount Kavora, and yeah, just looking at this thing from a first glance, it does kind of look similar to the Crystal King's temple, but I don't think Chima's going to be involved with the Ninjago storyline this much in this new season. Again, Chima and Ninjago are connected in some degree, but I think we can throw out all of these theories right here. And even though the Crystal King's temple may not have ties to Chima's Mount Kavora, I think it's important to acknowledge what it might in fact have ties to, and that of course is the Oni temple from Ninjago's Sons of Garmadon. If you look at this scene right here, the Crystal King's temple appears to be arising from some type of wooded location, some type of jungle, some type of forest. What exactly is this in terms of a location? Well, according to many Ninjago fans, and of course the Ninjago wiki, this location is in fact Primeval's Eye, which coincidentally is the same place that held the Oni temple all the way back during Sons of Garmadon. If you guys remember, all the way back during Season 8 Sons of Garmadon, Lloyd and Harumi pretty much traveled to Primeval's Eye to locate the Oni temple in order to secure the third and final Oni mask. It seems to me like this location will in fact pop up again in Ninjago Crystalized, being the location of the Crystal King's temple. In fact, I think the two temples, the Oni temple and the Crystal King's temple, are the same temple, that of course being the Crystal King's temple that we see in the Ninjago Crystalized trailer, floating above the entirety of Ninjago, finally being free from the surface. According to the Ninjago history provided by Sons of Garmadon, the Oni used the Oni temple long ago as a hiding place to hide from the first Spinjitzu master after they followed him into the first realm. Now of course with the Crystal King, I'm not really sure if he is an Oni per se, unless the Crystal King does in fact turn out to be the Overlord. And this is truly where the fun begins here. The Crystal King being the Overlord is a subject that a lot of people are kind of comfortable with right now. I think a lot of people are very much assuming the Crystal King to in fact be the Overlord, whatever he may or may not be looking like in his final form down here. I'm thinking the Overlord and the Crystal King may in fact be the same person. In regard to the Ninjago Crystalized sets and whatnot, the Overlord symbol can be found on a multitude of different places, including being plastered on all of the villains as well. As you can see right here in this shot, Asphira does indeed wield the symbol of the Overlord right there. She very much is a part of the Overlord's army right here, which makes me think that the Crystal King is the Overlord and vice versa. So what does that have to do with the Oni temple rising from the sky? Well, what if the Overlord himself was in fact an Oni? And while that question may have been answered with a no before, I believe this season could rewrite a lot of what we know about Ninjago, especially the first Spinjitzu master and the Overlord, and their relationship and what they had going on when Ninjago was still young and new. Again, according to Ninjago lore, the Overlord just kind of showed up there, but it would make a lot of sense if the Overlord turned out to be a rogue Oni, using the Oni resources such as the Temple of the Oni to his own advantage, to construct his own evil deed. Thus the Crystal King's temple right here originally being the Oni temple, or at least borrowing power from that temple to create whatever this monstrosity is floating above Ninjago's skyline. And I think that's very much possible for the Overlord to be the Crystal King, and for the Crystal King himself to be an Oni, being one of those original Oni that crossed over into Ninjago all those many years ago to chase after the first Spinjitzu master. Throughout the entirety of Ninjago being a thing and the Overlord being prevalent in the Ninjago storyline, he could have just been a rogue Oni the entire time. An Oni that went against the Oni code, someone who is still evil like an Oni is, but someone who also had his own interests in mind, ultimately with the goal of defeating the first Spinjitzu master and his bloodline and taking over all of Ninjago as a king, a crystal king, if you will. So maybe the crystals might be ancient Oni relics, perhaps, giving the villains the power-ups that they need to defeat the ninja, or perhaps combat the first Spinjitzu Master's bloodline. I will say, though, in terms of the Overlord being an Oni, and of course, him being a rogue Oni, taking over the Oni resources for his own evil deed, I'm not sure why that would not have been referenced earlier in the series, especially during the Oni trilogy. However, the Oni and the Overlord do have a lot of similarities. He was simply banished by his Oni brethren and decided to rule in his own way, once again becoming his own person, taking over the Oni resources for his own evil deeds. Either way, no matter what happens with the Overlord, whether or not he may in fact be an Oni, or of course the Crystal King if he does turn out to be the Overlord, that is, I feel like the season itself will take a lot of inspiration from the Oni trilogy, especially Sons of Garmadon. In the way that the overall tone is presented as well, it seems like this season is going to get very dark very quick, similar to the Oni trilogy, which was arguably one of Ninjago's most mature storylines. We also have a lot of other Oni imagery being a part of the season too, especially in regard to the Ninjago crystallized sets, specifically Oni Lloyd being a thing, and Oni Garmadon showing up as well. Maybe in order to defeat the Overlord, who is fully powered up here as the Crystal King, Lloyd and Garmadon need to find their inner Oni selves in order to combat the Overlord. An Oni against an Oni, I guess you could say. That could explain why Lloyd in the sets is known as Golden Oni Lloyd, and how Garmadon has an Oni form as well. What exactly that will do in terms of corrupting Lloyd, we're just gonna have to wait and see. Again, evil Lloyd is a very huge possibility here that I'll probably be doing another video on at a later date. Until then, guys, I think the Overlord being an Oni is very much possible. I think the Oni ties are bigger than what we expect here. I think that Sons of Garmadon itself is going to serve as a huge inspiration for Ninjago Crystalized, and not only Sons of Garmadon, but the entire Oni trilogy. This very much seems like a season that ties everything together in a very dramatic and fantastic way, and especially with the Oni temple right here, alternatively known as the Temple of the Crystal King. I believe this temple is the key to combining everything, bringing everything back together again, and making Ninjago Crystalized a huge conclusion to everything that we saw that came before. Again, season 1 and 2 lore, the history of the Oni that we saw during Sons of Garmadon, and of course the modern day setting of the Ninjago Wildbrain era. This season is going to be pretty crazy in terms of what it combines, and I do believe the Overlord, the Crystal King, and possibly the Oni temple itself, all of that will tie together in this new season, and everything will make sense when it's all said and done. But of course, that'll pretty much wrap it up for my thoughts here today, you guys. Feel free to let me know down below in the comments what you think about this theory, and what do you think about the Oni temple and the Crystal King's temple being the same temple? What do you think about the idea that the Overlord or the Crystal King may in fact turn out to be an Oni? And overall, guys, what did you think about the video itself? I'm gonna go ahead and call it there. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a comment down below. Again, give me all your thoughts down below in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about this theory, and what do you guys have for ideas regarding the Crystal King's temple, and maybe how it connects to Sons of Garmadon and the rest of Ninjago's lore. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and I'll talk to you guys again in the next upload. Peace.